intimidating, does it? But Arsene Wenger will be very happy with the way that his team started this game. Everton looking to upset the rhythm of that Arsenal can get into, but very much Alexis Sanchez, Ozil and Aaron Ramsey to the floor in the opening few minutes.
Shankar is penalised. There's Rooney. This new position. Rooney. Thoughts on the way Everton lining up. Calvert-Lewin through the middle, Rooney deeper.
Feels I'm sure he's got a free role, Wayne Rooney, but he has got to bridge the gap between the midfield and looking to come to feet. That's where Calvert-Lewin's got to use his pace to get in behind the Arsenal back three.
Ozil. Ramsey. Sanchez. Arsenal started with plenty of purpose. Lovely layoff. Lacazette. Pickford across to cover his near post.
Very slick, isn't it, so far from Arsenal? For all intents and purposes, like a foul on Alexis Sanchez by Gay, and again a nice little touch by Mesut Ozil. A couple of times he's found himself in that little position where he can get on the half turn.
Sanchez has picked himself up and he's hobbling a little as he jogs across towards to take this corner. Jordan Pickford, one of the clutch of summer recruits, 8 first-team players signed, £155 million spent by Everton. Sanchez. It came. And offside against Mesut Ozil. Big chance for Ozil to show today that he can be more than just an accessory away from home.
It's always the perennial question, isn't it, asked of Mesut Ozil. It's continued consistent output. Undoubtedly an extremely talented footballer, a joy to watch when he's in the right frame of mind, but Ronald Koeman knows that it's not just Ozil that he's got to keep his eye on, isn't it? It's the team that forces the issue.
In terms of the struggles, the travails of the Everton team, this remains a magnificent place to watch football. It's a throwback, built in the late 19th century. Stadium are terrific in their own right. They don't have the architectural grandeur of Goodison Park, nor indeed the feeling of soul and history.
It's things that you can design superstructures, but character is that intangible thing where it just develops by the history, the tradition, the people that watch these games, the people that grace the pitch itself.
Displaying vim and vigour so far. This is Ozil. Now it's Ramsey again. It's Lacazette, and it's a great save by Pickford. Granit Xhaka. Deflection on that. Well, Liverpool, Arsenal rather, have really started on the front foot here. It's been an attempt to blow Everton away in the opening 5, 6, 7 minutes.
They've been absolutely superb so far. The slickness of the passing, the movement beyond the man on the ball. This is just a wonderful take by Lacazette. Turns King completely inside out. Tell you what, Jordan Pickford so quick to get out to smother the danger.
Ramsey's made the run this time. Pickford is the goalkeeper pretty much under siege.
Arsenal, remember, with just 1 point and 1 goal away from the Emirates so far this season. It was a fairly thunderous tackle that won the ball back for Everton prior to Rooney seizing his moment.
Let's be honest, that's getting stuck in trade though, isn't it? Wonderful.
Oh, Czech getting in trouble with Calvert-Lewin. And Monreal buys Arsenal a bit of time.
This is what they needed to do. Comes back from the gate tackle, get as close as possible to the opposition. Dominic Calvert-Lewin not hanging around, dwelling on the ball, isn't he there? Petr Cech inviting the contact.
I have to say, it's a moment of theatre, given the history. That goal by Rooney, something special. Ozil. Lacazette. On a day when his boyhood team needed him the most, he has delivered. Here's Xhaka. Bellerin. And prior to that, it had been pretty much all Arsenal. Vlasic. Sigurdsson. Offside against Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Right, we really ought to look at that challenge by Idrissa Gueye. Was it a foul or not?
Well, they've certainly got Arsene Wenger upset. I think that's a clean win of the ball. Obviously, he makes contact with Granit Xhaka, doesn't he? But Xhaka's already looking to go down. He's already looking for the foul before he finishes the movement of actually keeping the ball and repelling Gueye.
Sanchez was barrelling into Williams, who says to the referee, look, I couldn't get out of the way, but he's going to be yellow carded for that.
I honestly don't know where Ashley Williams can go there. The ball's touched a nanosecond before it's put through beyond Ashley Williams, and then Alexis Sanchez runs into. I know it's obstruction, I know what the referee's saying, but I don't understand how we can possibly get out of the way when he's running at such speed.
And then to book him adds insult to injury. Well, we've got the subtlety of Sanchez, the finesse of Ozil, or the sheer power of Xhaka. Options. Sanchez it is. And Ramsey. And Pickford, having spilt the initial effort, there to save the follow-up. Ramsey again.
Just needs to take the sting out of this for a couple of seconds. Jordan Pickford didn't really tidy up as well as he liked to, would he? But he's so quick across the ground, coming out to deny space to the opposition.
Quite a start to this contest. Arsenal out of the blocks very rapidly, playing some scintillating one-touch football. But it's Everton that have struck the only meaningful blow so far. Ser Kalasinac. Sanchez. Sigurdsson.
in a high-profile Premier League game, which is, believe it or not, John, a contact sport, but there is no contact there.
No. Could be a referee. Posted by Sanchez this time. And Kolasinac. Hector Bellerin.
Again, it's fits and starts in the last few minutes for Arsenal. Kolasinac does catch it very, very well, but from Everton's point of view, lots of bodies around the player striking the ball this time. Hector Bellerin.
Kenny. Vlasic. Jagielka. Baines.
Monreal finds Alexis Sanchez, but he can't get it past Ijisage. This time the ball goes to Zachary, a little layoff from him. He's not that clever. And again, Ijisage gets a foot in. Now, is he adjudged to have fouled after the fact there? A card's coming out. And, well, I think he's a little bit unlucky, but we'll take a look and tell me what you think. I thought he intervened there. There was a little drag, but
maybe because he just hooked his studs around instead of...
I thought he was unlucky there.
Yeah, it's you can understand why Craig Pawson's given it, but you don't really want to see bookings for that. There was no malice in it. He did get a touch of the ball, and Arsenal now have a free kick that Everton have to defend.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a long way out. Fairly central chance then for Ozil to sling it in. Mertesacker in there, scored from a set piece last time out. The ball nodded down into the ground. Who wants to rebound? The ball breaks into the middle of the park. It's thumped into the midriff of, I think, Baines. But in the end, the ball is humped clear. And for whatever reason, Arsenal just struggling now to get shots on target.
Yeah, I think, well, Everton, having taken the lead, I think they realised that they were playing far too open before that. They had a terrible start, as we've been saying, so they are looking a little bit more solid in that midfield and at the back now. But if I was Arsenal, all I'd be doing until half-time is just running the ball at Ashley Williams and see if he'll dive in and make a desperate lunge, because they've got a real chance that they could get him sent off here.
Yeah, I believe that. I think when we saw him playing midweek, those who did, he should have got sent off then. He was desperate stuff from a desperate man, I think. Anyway, Lacazette now at the edge of the area puts a cross into the far post. It's too deep. It's a poor ball, really. Whenever I see Lacazette, he doesn't play well. But he scored a few goals and everybody's raving about him. I'm yet to see it, quite honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's done okay. I mean, you'd probably expect more for the fee that's been paid for him, £52 million. And I think the comparisons to Thierry Henry were a little bit abrupt, to say the least. But he does have something about him. He is a quick forward, and they have needed that for quite a while, because Giroud, with the style of football they play, he's a good technical player, but he's never going to run in behind anyone. So I think in time Lacazette will come good, and he will score a lot of goals, but maybe he's just being targeted at the moment.
Yeah, I think Giroud scored a great goal in midweek. If you get a chance to see that, watch Wilshire's run for the goal. Absolutely beautiful, and Wilshire's on the bench today. Just signs, hopefully, of maybe a big comeback for Wilshire's. The ball goes to Kolasinac, puts the ball into the box, just a little bit too much on it. Like I said, cannot get there, but Pickford can. And I think the game has been frenetic all the way through, but just the last couple of minutes, maybe it's settled down a touch.
Yeah, just a little bit. I think neither side have been able to get too many decent shots away there. It was a good-looking ball from Kolasinac there to try and find Lacazette. And he's another one, I think, that's done all right, actually, since joining Arsenal. It was a free transfer, so they've really nothing to lose, and he is probably one of the more stronger attacking fullbacks in the league, and he just tried to play the ball there for Lacazette, but there was a little bit too much on it. But Arsenal look to come forward again, and it's still been an exciting game.
The back of his man, he's got to be careful now, he's on a card. Referee's going to have a word with him. Oh dear me, I mean it was a silly foul from him. He's having a great game. I think he's still maybe annoyed that he got a yellow card, but he's got to simmer down, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, they've now got two in the side that have had yellow cards and had fouls on top of that, so you would think that they're in last warning territory, the two of them now. So down that middle, Arsenal have just got to exploit them.
I think so, and also, yeah, sometimes he's on a yellow card, he's under pressure, but a lot of players don't pick him up and know how to deal with it. I don't think Williams does at all, and Gates in his nature to attack every ball. So yeah, I think those guys are under a lot of pressure. As the ball is hacked out defence by Everton, anyway will do for the minute. The ball goes out of play.
It's a real thrilling contest at Goodison Park at the moment. Both sides are playing pretty end-to-end football. Everton had a chance when a cross came into the box and Dominic Calvert-Lewin was completely unmarked and he glanced a header just wide. But there's been a couple of good moments for Arsenal since. Hector Bellerin put a cross into the box which was cleared away by Everton after great work in the middle from Alexis Sanchez. He then had a shot from the edge of the box. Everton have also had two yellow cards. Ashley Williams and Idrissa Gueye have gone into the referee's notebook and both have made fouls since, so Arsenal could look to target them. Still, Everton 1, Arsenal 0.
Ball at the edge of the area for Arsenal, trying to run it in at that point. Played ever so well, but couldn't get the shot away. A bit like Arsenal of old, really. But here they go again. Now they broke free. Ozil into the box, but he takes a turn, and it's just Gay reads that like a book. They've got the overlap, and again, Gay is not reading that. Xhaka then has a shot. It's a brilliant shot. Ball comes back out, and then it's thumped into the back of the net, and it's natural.
He tried to do something there. Xhaka got the shot in from distance. Again, unconvincing from Jordan Pickford, and Monreal was there right on cue to put it into the back of the net. Arsenal have found themselves an equaliser. It's now Everton 1, Arsenal 0. From the left-hand side, Alexis Sanchez ran the ball into the middle. He was dispossessed, but it fell to Granit Xhaka, who had a shot from the edge of the box. Jordan Pickford, who, as we've said, has looked shaky all afternoon, could only parry it away. And there was Nacho Monreal right on cue to hammer it into the back of the net. Arsenal back on level terms.
Yes, they are, and I think you would make them clear favourites. Sanchez picks the ball at that point. There's a little collision in the box. Jagielka had gone to ground. There was contact. I think it wasn't a foul, just one of those things. So there was one less body in there. The Everton, from being vaguely comfortable, now they're not. Pickford has done one or two good things in the game, but again, I think the big time form squiggle over him. This season, if you remember, cross from Harry Kane, who could do no wrong, and he hit the back of the net. In the midweek game before that, I think I'd seen somebody chip him from a long way out. I'm thinking he's not over tall. So then he's handling. If he's not the biggest keeper, here's a chance for Bellerin, breaks into the box, but eventually they just do enough. If he's not the biggest, then he has got to be perfect with his handling, or what is he about? Why pick a slightly smaller keeper who doesn't demand the full frame of the goal unless he's absolutely perfect with his handling? But he's not.
Yeah, I mean, for the majority of the season last year, up until maybe the back 2 months, I thought he was outstanding for Sunderland. I thought he was their best player. His reflexes, his distribution were all brilliant, and since he's joined Everton, again, like Sigurdsson, like Rooney, like all the others pretty much that have joined the club, they've just lost the way a little bit. And I think Jordan Pickford does have real potential to be a star for Everton and indeed England in time to come. He just needs to regain a bit of confidence. Maybe that he's not got too much competition behind him. They've got Stecklenburg, who's not in the squad today, he's out injured. So Joel Robles, remember him, he's back on the bench today.
Well, I'd have Joel ahead of him every time, and I didn't like Joel to start with. Calvert-Lewin, just a little bit of an elbow into the back of Monreal, puts him into the stand. And we saw that from Ashley Williams, in midweek. And that's not a good thing to be learning for a young fella, really. I mean, Monreal, it's something or nothing. But momentum, they're close in those stands at Goodison. And he was into the crowd pretty quickly there. I think that's very naughty. I would have given him a yellow card for that. But anyway.
Yeah, he might have known what he was doing there, I think.
Well, it was just a little push. But like I said, the stands are that close in at Goodison. It's one of the features of the old stadium, isn't it? For me, right, last season, if you did a show reel of Pickford's finest moments, there would be a lot. But because he had a lot to do for a team who was struggling all the time, sometimes that gives you a false impression. Anyway, Arsenal come forward again, down the left-hand side. Great ball into the box. Nobody marking Ozil. Now nobody marking Sanchez. Pickford's a good save this time. And, Sanchez went down after the fact. I don't think he's diving or anything there. I think just momentum takes him down. It's going to be a corner, but tell me what you think, Dan.
Yeah, it was, first of all, again, great play from Mesut Ozil just to put a delicate through ball to Sanchez. And I think it was just the momentum that took him over Pickford's body rather than him purposefully diving there.
Ball into the box and for the corner. Punch out from Pickford. He was so close in on his line there. As we see the ball sliced, and then Pickford now can go and pick it up. Such an exciting first half. You don't know where to start with it, really. I don't envy you 30 seconds trying to sum it up. But plenty to discuss. Also, we said there were going to be goals. There have been one apiece, and I think Arsenal look destined to grab one or two more for Everton. I don't know, hard to say. But now the Toffees trying to come forward. It was a good challenge by Aaron Ramsey in the middle of the park. I'd bring Mirallas on at half time. I'd take Sigurdsson off. I'd put Vlasic or Mirallas either on that side. Sigurdsson's just not the race. I know what he's got in terms of talent. Maybe you could play him second striker, but that would mean taking Wayne Rooney off because you'd want Calvert-Lewin as the foil, as your man up top.
Yeah. Well, Calvert-Lewin's the only one in the side that's got pace at the moment, and for Everton at the moment, they just can't afford to be carrying passengers. They've conceded the goal, they've lost the lead now, so they need to get back into this one. And like I said, I think Mirallas would be a good shout from the bench, even bringing on Oumar Niasse, who's got probably a bit more of a focal point than Calvert-Lewin, who just likes to drift around. Niasse is a big striker who's got a bit of pace about him as well, big and strong, so he could maybe provide something up front for Everton.
I think they need pace on the counter-attack. Xhaka goes for it again, but this time his left foot drive is well wide of the mark. He's got a good strike on him. He's had a reasonable first half, bar the mistake, but we said he's in a strange slot, really. I don't think he's a holding midfielder. Doesn't seem to have the instincts. He plays well from the base of their defence because he's a good passer, but a bit like Arteta, that doesn't mean to say he's a holding midfielder.
Yeah, he's not really that blessed with football intelligence in terms of intercepting and reading the play. Like what Guy is for Everton, Xhaka can't quite do that. And as well, he's not the best tackler. He is quite rash, and he picks up cheap red and yellow cards more than a lot of players do. So
he's hot-headed, yeah, he is.
I think he's a good player, but he's probably not at the level Arsenal need.
Yeah, it's hard to say really. Given that he's out of his slot, but he gives the ball away there, and then he wins it back for the Gunners. It's a mixed bag from Granit Xhaka today, and now Alexis Sanchez judged to have given a little shove in an aerial battle, I think. Well, we're closing in on half time now. We're past 45 minutes. We're into 2 minutes of added time. It was actually a high boot. The game's been compelling drama, really, and I think that there are a few more goals to come second half. I think there are a few more twists and turns. Arsenal is certainly not foot perfect at the back, are they?
No, I mean, I'd be very surprised if there were no more goals for the rest of this. Both sides are suspect defensively, but they look like they're good going forward.
Yeah, the long ball, free kick in. Calvert-Lewin thinks it came off the defender, but the referee has suggested that Calvert-Lewin got the last touch on that. Was it him? Was it Koscielny? Ends up roof of the net. I think he nods it on to Koscielny's head. So it should be a corner kick, but it's not being given. And Arsenal then can pick it up again. Lacazette holds it up under pressure from Jagielka, does really well. Granit Xhaka, that's a better ball from him. As the referee then blows his whistle, and it's half-time.
Half-time between Everton and Arsenal. It's currently 1-1. Everton took the lead on 12 minutes. A fantastic goal from Wayne Rooney. Mertesacker played a ball out. Granit Xhaka gave possession away to Idrissa Gueye, who fed Wayne Rooney, and on the edge of the D, curled one into the top corner. But 5 minutes before half-time, Arsenal came down the left-hand side. Sanchez played a ball into Xhaka, who shot from distance, was parried away by Jordan Pickford, and Nacho Monreal was there to smash it in. It's been a thrilling contest so far. Everton 1, Arsenal 1. Everton took the lead on 12 minutes. A fantastic goal from Wayne Rooney. Mertesacker played a ball out. Granit Xhaka gave possession away to Idrissa Gueye, who fed Wayne Rooney and on the edge of the D curled one into the top corner. But 5 minutes before half-time, Arsenal came down the left. Well, we're back underway in this independent off-tube studio commentary. It's currently 1-1 at half-time between Everton and Arsenal. Wayne Rooney with a thunderous strike into the top corner in the first half before Nacho Monreal shot into the back of the net after Jordan Pickford parried it away. So it's 1-1 at half-time. Everton have made a change at the break. It's one that we very much predicted would happen. Ashley Williams is the man who's been sacrificed, having picked up a yellow card and fouled more often in the meantime, so he's off. They've gone back to a back four, and Tom Davies has come on in midfield, so the teams now are Pickford in goal, a back four of Kenny, Keane, Jagielka and Baines, a midfield four of Sigurdsson, Davis, Gueye and Vlasic, with Rooney and Calvert-Lewin up top. As for Arsenal, it's as you were with Cech, Koscielny, Mertesacker, Monreal, Bellerin, Ramsey, Xhaka, Kolasinac, Ozil, Sanchez and Lacazette. It's myself, Dan McCarthy and John Hogan taking you through this one. And John, it was a thrilling first half, and it looks like with that change, Everton are signalling more attacking intent.
Well, there's a lot of ways to look at it. I think personally that Williams was a liability. You know, almost the first thing he did was get himself booked, put himself on a tightrope. He didn't learn his lesson after that. Remember him striking for that ball with Lacazette that he just couldn't get. I mean, he's out of form. I don't think that three at the back served them well either. They didn't seem to know what they were doing. Keane rushed out the line to try and mark Alexis Sanchez, but you don't want to work as deep as Sanchez or work as hard as Sanchez is going to work. It ain't going to work for you. As the ball into the box here, an opportunity early for Everton. I think it only made sense. One more body in midfield. You know, also try and stop those midfield runners. You know, if they told Tom Davies, right, you're going on, you want to get forward, but equally, if you could just have a look at Aaron Ramsey and shadow his runs and make sure that he didn't, you know, just run into the box with no opposition, we'll be thrilled. I mean, it's simple stuff really, but I think it was the right move for Ronald Koeman.
Yeah, it certainly is. It is a four in midfield, but with no orthodox wide players, so it will be interesting to see who takes up that role. Probably, you'd imagine Sigurdsson and Vlasic would be the players that will go into those wider areas with Davis and Gueye in midfield, but as we saw last season from Tom Davies, he's a more than capable midfielder, very talented young Evertonian, again another one who they love to see come through the ranks, and he has looked like a player, not being as good this season, but then again I don't think anyone for Everton has, and Arsenal now have themselves a free kick after it was Alexander Lacazette who was hauled down there. So Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil have stood over this. It's probably not close enough to be within shooting range unless the two of them are going to surprise us. They've sent a lot of men into the box there. Kolasinac is trying to get himself some space at the far post there. It is going to be Sanchez who puts the ball in with a very fierce shot there, which charged straight into the Everton wall. Bit of a waste there for Arsenal. I think probably would have served them better if Ozil would have just chipped it in.
Yeah, maybe, but here's an opportunity. But out comes Pickford. He does really well there. Yeah, I think he's trying to catch the keeper out there, but obviously it didn't work. And when it doesn't, you look a bit of a nana, don't you?
Certainly do there, as Arsenal did momentarily have a chance there, but Pickford came and claimed it. Made a lot of good saves in the first half, but also made a few rash moments, and perhaps he could have done better with the Monreal effort. The Xhaka shot was deflected into his path, but he could only parry it away straight to the feet of Monreal, who just smashed it into the bottom corner. An unlikely goal scorer for Arsenal, and he's on the ball again. Plays it forward and gets the ball back from Ozil. Now he plays it to Aaron Ramsey. Monreal continued his run, but Ramsey was harassed and harried there by Idrissa Gueye, so it comes to the left-hand side with Sanchez. Sanchez will get inside Kenny, and he'll lift the ball into the back post there, looking for Bellerin, but it's been cleared away, but Arsenal come forward again.
You know, there was a big gap opened up at the right hand side for Beerin. We saw before that the Baines was fouled by Koscielny, and again a decision that Everton didn't get. Ronald Koeman comes out in his technical area. I think you know, he would have expected maybe a yellow card there, but didn't get it. You know, they were poor defending in the first half. Now they're a back four. Maybe it'll work out better, but early signs are that they still look all over the shop, really. Yeah,
Rooney plays it out wide though to Calvert-Lewin, who does well to get away there from Kolasinac, and then Koscielny was the man who got it cleared up in the air, only as far as Idrissa Gueye, who's come out to this right-hand side. Kolasinac does well though, he's a big, powerful frame, and he gets away from Gueye as Arsenal try and play it forward, but Keane intercepts it. Davis is robbed of possession though, so Sanchez will cut in on his right foot. The whistle has gone. Lacazette was the man who was fouled again, and it's broken down for Arsenal as Craig Pawson prepares to have a word where I think it was Tom Davis with the late clip on him, and it's a clear foul there.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Davis is in there to put himself about, you know. Before that, we saw a good break from Calvert-Lewin, and his cutback was decent, but there weren't many blue shirts in the box for him to hit. Had to be inch perfect, and he wasn't far away, but you give him a bit of credit. But Arsenal coming forward again, look irresistible, don't they? Keane did well to hang on in there. Now Wayne Rooney on the counter-attack, maybe a chance for him as he shrugs off Aaron Ramsey.
Yeah, he's played well there, Rooney, and then he gives it to Sigurdsson, out to Kenny, who's going to drift one into the box there. Mertesacker with the downwards header towards Monreal. It's a bit casual there, but Monreal manages to get it clear, but it finds no one, so Baines will collect it and just give it back to Jagielka there, who will play it across now to Michael Keane. They've suddenly got plenty of space at the back there, and there's another man there who's cost a lot of money, Michael Keane, who probably hasn't started the season the way he would have wanted to at Everton. Certainly not as well as his old club Burnley have started this season. They did lose 3-0 yesterday at Manchester City, but that certainly is no disgrace with the way that they're in form at the moment. So it's lofted up there, but Monreal heads it away. Kolasinac. Kenny intercepts. Then Davis. Now Idrissa Gueye. They just need to get a bit more men forward there. Good ball round the corner from Rooney. And he finds Vlasic, who's got away from Kolasinac. Vlasic is in the box. He cuts back in on his left. He shoots and it's deflected away there. And yeah, he should have squared it across.
Dead greedy there. And his shot never looked like it was going to do anything but be blocked. But yet, for once, they had bodies in the box. I mean, because he won the ball high up the field and he did well initially, doesn't mean to say, oh, it's a chance.
Sanchez puts the ball into the box there, and it's headed into the back of the net. And it's Mesut Ozil, the man, who's headed that into the net for Arsenal to take the lead. Great work down the left-hand side, and Ozil was there to apply the finish.
I tell you what, that's so typical. You go down at one end and make a bit of a mess of things. The next thing you do, pick the ball out the back of your net. It's a great fluid break down the left from the Gunners. A lovely header from Mesut Ozil, and it's Arsenal who take the lead.
It's all turn around now at Goodison Park as Arsenal have taken the lead. A quick counter-attack down the left-hand side. So Lacazette give it to Alexis Sanchez, who cut inside the debut rookie right-back, John Joe Kenny. Just lifted a right-footed cross into the box, and there, completely unmarked, was Mesut Ozil to plant the header into the back of the net. It's Everton 1, Arsenal 2.
Yeah. Well, from a long way out, we kind of had the feeling that this was going to happen. Everton are not in any great shape, either in a back five or a back four. You've got to give credit to Arsenal because that's stellar play in the counter-attack. Oh, they can't head the ball, Arsenal. Well, tell that to Mesut Ozil, that was pinpoint. But it was the ball, his movement, he was able to attack it, you know, and from close range. I may not be the biggest fan of Pickford, but I don't really know what he was, you know, supposed to do there. But anyway, I just think, it's a mountain to climb. Everton got that goal lead out of nothing, but it looks like it's going to be a long afternoon for them now.
Yeah, Mesut Ozil, the man who's put Arsenal in front, and As we said earlier, he does attract a lot of criticism. People criticising the way that he doesn't turn up in big games or his languid style of play, but he certainly played well today. And Everton give it away in midfield again. Play it now to Ramsey. Here's Ozil again, who just shifts the ball out wide right to Bellerin. Bellerin with the ball into the box, headed away by Michael Keane. Ozil will come and collect it again. He's got some support. Here's Koscielny. Sanchez wants the ball, but Koscielny will advance down this right-hand side now, and he does brilliantly to beat his man there. And into the box is Ramsey, and Ramsey should have scored there. It was a perfect cutback from Laurent Koscielny. Did brilliantly to beat Tom Davies by the looks of it down the right-hand side, and he put a ball into the box there. Ramsey unmarked on the penalty spot, and he spoons it over the bar.
Yeah, I think he's got to do a little bit better there. Technique let him down. The other thing about Ramsey, he scored a lot of goals. What he said recently that resonated with me is actually you have a bit more time than you think. You can be a bit more precise, but there he's not taking his own advice. He swung a foot through that when he might even take a touch and settled himself, you know. Yeah,
he certainly had time to take the touch there because there were no Everton defenders within a pretty wide radius there of him, as Arsenal now give a free kick away. Xhaka has brought down Idrissa Gueye just near the near touchline there. So Everton have a chance to swing the ball into the box there. Sanchez still protesting over the decision, as Craig Pawson doesn't take any of his protestations too seriously. It's going to be Gylfi Sigurdsson who's going to be taking this free kick in. They do have a plethora of players who can take set pieces, himself, Rooney, Baines. So they're certainly blessed in that area, but Sigurdsson will swing it in from the right-hand side there. It's to the back post, looking for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. They do just about manage to get it away, Arsenal. Yeah, Koscielny just puts his laces through it and straight out towards Jordan Pickford, who comes quite a distance out of his goal there. We know his distribution's good, so he'll look to play one back for Everton. Up towards Keane there, who'd stayed forward, but he gives the foul away after man-mounting himself over Granit Xhaka there. And they've made the change at half-time, Everton. Clearly so far it hasn't paid dividends. How long do you give it before Ronald Koeman might look to the bench to bring on Niassa or Mirallas or one more attacking player?
Yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? Made one change and he's just hoping he gets a tune out of these guys, but obviously a great ball over the top, and Calvert-Lewin just cannot bring it in. He's got no support either. I feel a bit sorry for him. They're a goal behind now, and it's a different story, isn't it? And I think that they have to probably bring on Niasse, and I maybe Mirallas as well. I'd be possibly taking off Wayne Rooney and Sigurdsson, and that seems terrible, doesn't it? But I think maybe it's the young kids on the counter attack with pace who are going to be able to do it. But it's a difficult position for Ronald Koeman to be in.
It certainly is, and this man on the ball now, Nikola Vlasic, who's done okay in flashes, might find himself being the lamb to the slaughter because
he'd be the easier one to sub.
He doesn't want to sub his £50 million man or Wayne Rooney.
But I don't think that out of them he's shown a bit more vitality and energy, and I think that that's what this team lacks a lot of. They played with the spirit, and Rooney's doing his level best. He scored a great goal, but in general play it ain't quite working for them.
It certainly isn't, and Arsenal poke the ball forward again. A great touch from Alexis Sanchez over his head, and he plays it infield there too. Mesut Ozil will put an angled ball into the box there. It's just about cleared, but Bellerin will collect it. Lacazette will try and play it back to him, but he was outcrowded there by 4 Everton bodies who defended well to get it around him. So now Everton will look to launch it forward, looking for Calvert-Lewin, who's got the beating of Monreal for pace there, but the ball bounces up at the wrong moment, and Monreal will just hook it away out for a corner by the looks of it. But Calvert-Lewin has gone down there in the challenge, and he looks in a bad way. He looks quite hurt there. We'll just see a replay of this. Monreal just about got to it first, but just a bit of contact there from Monreal on Calvert-Lewin there. It didn't look malicious, but it's one of those where if the studs have caught him in the face, that's a bit painful.
Got to hurt, and it's like a stud in the eye. You don't like that, and you worry. Seems to be a bit of claret there as well. So You know, almost all the full weight of the body onto those studs. Pressure equals force over area, so you really feel it. You get stud in the eye, stud on his nose, and you know that's got to hurt. We see the claret coming down there, so yeah, it's not a small injury, and I think we're about 4 minutes here because they've got to mop up the blood and what have you, and I suppose they'll be able to take him off, but he's not going anywhere at the minute. They're staunching the stem of blood. It will be a corner kick for Everton as they allow us to take a look at the perfect ball in from Alexis Sanchez for the Ozil header. I mean, he's just a gorgeous player, isn't he? Two stand up and he just flicks it through the middle of them, and Ozil's run is great near post. I don't know if Pickford could have done any better there.
No, I don't think he could. I think it was from too closer an angle for Pickford to do anything about it. Good header from Mesut Ozil, we'll have to say there. Obviously, one of the areas of his playing attributes that he's not noted for his heading ability, but he certainly showed that he's capable from that angle. Put it straight into the back of the net there, and Ronald Koeman has gone from being almost relieved after the 13th minute where Wayne Rooney put them in front to back being concerned again on the sidelines as Gareth Southgate is also in attendance at Goodison Park, casting his eye no doubt over some of the English players on show today. Pickford, Keane, even maybe Davis for Everton, and then from an Arsenal point of view there aren't any English players in the starting lineup for them. You might have hoped that Jack Wilshere could get some minutes after an encouraging display midweek against Red Star Belgrade. But having said that, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, maybe another one that Gareth Southgate's been looking at. He is back on his feet. He's got a tissue stuffed up his nose there to stem the blood flow. He's going to have to change his shirt because, as John said, there is some claret marks on them. So they're down to 10 men momentarily as Kenny will take this throw in. Gives it to Vlasic, who outmuscled there by Sanchez. So Arsenal get the throw in back straight away there.
He's such a good player in the Alexis Sanchez. Little things, you know, they just reads play. All of a sudden the throw in is an Arsenal throw. They're able to clear their lines. Yeah, he's just a class act. Boy, hasn't he turned up today. You know, he might have wanted to move or whatever, but he settled back in, and yeah, he's certainly hitting his straps today.
Well, he still hasn't got a contract beyond this season, Alexis Sanchez, so there is the big doubt that he could leave for a free transfer as well as Mesut Ozil, but Arsenal come down the right-hand side again. That's a good ball. Aaron Ramsey got to the byline. He's been harassed by Tom Davies. The youngster does well there to force a corner, but again, that was all too easy for Arsenal to counter-attack.
Yeah, it sure was, and again, they're potent on the counter-attack. Everton now you know, they've got to commit bodies forward. It's the 7th corner, by the way, for Arsenal, none for Everton. You know, I thought the last injury break, I thought that was a corner kick for Everton, but it didn't seem to happen, did it? Anyway, chance for Arsenal, chance for Mertesacker.
Ozil will put the ball into the box, and as you say, Mertesacker's in there, Kolasinac, Koscielny, Monreal's in there looking to add to his goals tally, so plenty to aim for as Ozil puts the ball into the box there. He aims for Mertesacker there. It's not cleared. Alexis Sanchez will shoot. He collects the ball again, but Idrissa Gueye got there just in time to get the ball out of play. But again, Sanchez so dangerous from those opportunities, and Everton weren't around him.
Yeah, he's Arsenal's best player, and he keeps showing that work rate and the application and quality on the ball all there, and he had a shot blocked away. And for Everton, Idrissa Gueye has been a standout player, and you rightly said I think he'd walk into the Arsenal team. I think he's better than any of their holding midfielders. You know, Zachary, who's playing at the minute, El Neni, who actually played centre back in midweek, and Coquelin also played. But I think I quite like Coquelin, but again, he's somebody just coming back from injury, I feel. But here come Everton now. Yeah,
here's Calvert-Lewin down the right. He puts a cross in left-footed there. It is over the head of Sigurdsson in the end, so all he can do is glance it out of play again. It's another opportunity wasted for Everton. It was good play from Vlasic initially to set Calvert-Lewin away, but the crossing was a poor one just as the sun has come back out. I don't know, maybe if it's gone into his eyes at the wrong moment, but again, the element's not helping Everton today as Cech will clear the ball long from the goal kick over Lacazette's head, and Baines will just let it run out of play for a throw-in. Just over 64 minutes gone in this independent off-tube studio commentary. Just the one change so far in the game. Davis on for Williams. Arsenal yet to tinker with their 11 at the moment, and from Arsene Wenger's point of view, there's no reason why you would. They're 2-1 up, and they're doing okay today. Of course, they can play better, as indicated by Everton getting their goal, but from an attacking point of view, they've looked very lively so far, as Cech launches it long again, but Jagielka's first to the header, and then Baines will just punt it clear. Mertesacker with an easy header though, but he's adjudged to have fouled Calvert-Lewin there, climbing over him a bit too much. So another free kick for Everton.
Well, they realise that Calvert-Lewin won't be feeling great. He's got 2 bandages up both nostrils, and clearly got caught in the face before, and Mertesacker makes his life even more unpleasant. He was never going to win that ball. Mertesacker just thinks I'll bundle into him and we'll test out this young kid's heart. But that's a good ball in from Everton this time on the left.
To put the ball into the box, and it was headed backwards by Koscielny. Keane has come over to the right hand side to collect it. He does well to angle a ball there to the byline to Vlasic. Vlasic will put a cross in, but it's over everyone's head, and it'll go out for a throw-in. Just need more presence up front to Everton.
They need somebody, don't they? Target man. I mean, Calvert-Lewin's doing his level best to put himself about, but they need a Giroud. They need somebody big and bustling, and I think Burnley have got all those guys, haven't they? They could do with a Vokes or a Wood or one of those, just to compete really. And Calvert-Lewin's doing his level best. Don't get me wrong. Wayne Rooney dropping a bit deeper, but they just don't have a focal point really.
Certainly don't, but we did see a shot there of Oumar Niasse warming up, and it is quite a remarkable turnaround story. He's not playing regularly, but to even get on the bench from where he was initially under Ronald Koeman is quite an achievement for the man who was a deadline day move to Crystal Palace folded at the last second. He was there with Mamadou Sakho. That deal did get completed. Here come Arsenal again. They just give it back though, as Kolasinac gave the foul away, and again they just allow Everton to play the ball there from the set piece as Davis gives it back.
Arsenal have been the better team by a million miles, haven't they? But they're 2-1 up, and it's Everton who have somehow got a foothold back in the game. I don't quite understand this Arsenal team really, and they should be clear by now. That ball had clearly gone out of play left hand side. Sigurdsson's having a mare, isn't he?
Yeah, couldn't quite keep that one in play. Still Everton 1, Arsenal 2, and Arsenal really should be 3-1 up. It was great work down the right hand side from Laurent Koscielny. He beat his man and then put a pinpoint cross into the box. On the penalty spot was Aaron Ramsey, completely unmarked, but he swung at it with his right boot and it went miles over the bar. Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Nacho Monreal had a little bit of a collision, which has resulted in Calvert-Lewin now playing the remainder of the game with a couple of tissues stuffed up his nose after the claret was coming down. And then from a corner for Arsenal, Ozil put the ball into the box. Mertesacker was causing trouble. The ball fell to Alexis Sanchez, but his shot was blocked. It's still Everton 1, Arsenal 2.
And, well, what a good challenge at the edge of the area. Everton were trying to make some ground, and Vlasic got stopped in his tracks there. Everton winning a bit more ball. Idrissa Gueye has just been sent off. Second yellow card, and the whole complexion of the game has massively changed now. Silly boy, he was treading a fine line. Maybe his manager should have protected him. He took off Williams, but he didn't take off Idrissa Gueye. He's got himself sent off. 2 yellow cards. Didn't quite see what it was for. We'll take another look at that. But life has just got doubly difficult for Ronald Koeman.
Yeah,
well, there wasn't much in it, was there, there with the Granit Xhaka? We'll take another look at this, Dan. What do you think?
Oh, it wasn't a terrible challenge, but it was needless.
He should have had a word with him there.
Yeah, he didn't need to do that.
His first yellow card wasn't much, was it, either?
It's a doubly difficult task now for Everton. It's still 2-1 to Arsenal, but Everton are now down to 10 men. Idrissa Gueye has picked up his second booking of the game. The ball was given away. Granit Xhaka got hold of it, and then Idrissa Gueye with the late challenge lunged in. It was a silly yellow card to give away, and now Everton's task will be all the more difficult. Idrissa Gueye had a good game up until then, and now they don't really have any defensive midfield cover. Still 2-1, but Everton down to 10.
Yeah, I think that's just a hammer blow for Ronald Koeman. Well, he was under pressure before this, but they just got themselves a foothold back in the game. And then something to nothing. I honestly, I feel that was so hasty from Craig Pawson. You know, we see much worse fouls, you know, day in, day out. That don't. I mean, both of the challenges that got him a yellow card, I'm thinking on another day probably wouldn't get it. You know, I just think that is really harsh.
Yeah, but Craig Pawson says that it's a red card, so for the rest of the game, Everton will play with 10. John will take you through to full time.
Yeah, I feel really sorry for him. You know, he'd been Everton's outstanding player, but he does go for the ball, and you know you couldn't take that out of his game really. It's understandable. But anyway, Everton trying to make amends now, but they lose the ball high up the field of play. There's still a goal down. The ball flicked over the top for Alexis Sanchez. Pickford comes out and plays a bit of poker with Sanchez there, but eventually he's able to clear his lines. The likelihood is then that Arsenal go on and score another and cement the victory. They're 2-up against 10. They don't even have to do anything now, do they, really? I think they would want another goal. But, yeah, life has just got a lot more easy for the Gunners, who will put behind them the disappointment of the defeat against Watford last weekend. And Watford showed against Chelsea that they're a decent team. They went 2-up against them, didn't they? But probably a bit too soon in the piece. And Arsenal a goal ahead, a man ahead, and it's hard to see a way back for Everton now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. They've just kind of lost all the life that they had in the first half after the goal and towards half-time, really. And having Idrissa Gueye sent off, Arsenal will be licking the lips now because they'll just be able to get in behind easily as they get into the box there, nearly.
Yeah, Lacazette trying to bundle his way through, but eventually he stopped in his tracks. A combination of Keane and Jagielka. The ball went out the field of play by Calvert-Lewin. They need to show a little bit of something now, Everton. Need to do something that we don't expect. You know, man up. When a team loses a player, it's in the first half, you just think, well, that's it, they've had it. You know, Burnley can beat Chelsea in those circumstances. The other way round, though, I think, you know, they've got 20 minutes to cope with a man short, but they're at home and there's a bit of passion. They're Everton, you know. I'm expecting a bit more often, but anyway, they've won a free kick there, and Granit Xhaka, why has he not gone in the book for that? It was the same kind of thing as either of the challenges from Idrissa Gueye. You know, in fact, it was more cynical. He's just blocking off there. Taken short, maybe an opportunity. Chance for Baines to put the ball into the box. In it goes, headed away by Mertesacker. Competed for at the edge of the area, but it's Arsenal running away with it. And now the chance to break out is there. And the first time ball from Granit Xhaka is a good one. And Lacazette's next ball is poor. Guilty opportunity.
He had more time there than he anticipated. He was always on the stretch, but he could have taken a touch. And it was still 4-on-3 in that situation. And Lacazette has been a little bit underwhelming today for me. I don't know whether Arsene Wenger might want to keep him on for the remainder of the game because he's now playing against 10. There'll be more space for him to attack in. But he hasn't really done enough for me today.
No, I've been disappointed. He's made one or two miss moves, and he doesn't necessarily look that clever a fit for his team. But he'll have a chance now. Ball into the box. Lacazette waits for it. Lacazette scores. Easy enough. And there we go. Game, set and match. Everton 1, Arsenal 3. You can see him waiting. Nobody stood with him. And it's a bit of a tapping really for Lacazette.
Yeah, it's a great finish, and it's easy stuff for Arsenal. They're really taking advantage of Everton now being down to 10. They was able to break down the right-hand side there. I think it was it Sanchez who put the ball into the box there, as Bellerin played the ball forward there, and it wasn't Sanchez. He played the ball out wide. It was Ramsey, wasn't it, who put the ball into the box? Yeah, Aaron Ramsey. So a great finish there from Lacazette. It's all too easy for Arsenal at Goodison Park. It's 3-1 now. A break from midfield saw the ball go down the right-hand side. They completely outnumbered Everton at the back. Aaron Ramsey it was who got to the byline, just squared a simple ball across to Alexandre Lacazette, who made no mistake from 10 yards out. He's not had his greatest game today, but he's now on the score sheet. It's Everton 1, Arsenal 3, and this could get quite messy for the home side.
Yeah, it sure could. You know, they're 2 goals adrift now. They've got to chase the game. In doing that, they'll leave themselves wide open. And I think, you know, we probably reckon that there may be a goal or 2 more. But anyway, it is what it is. The change has been made, and Nias has come on. And just got a bit of work to do at the edge of their own area there, as...
Yeah, they look like they've brought in Ademola Lookman as well, so they are looking for more pace now. I couldn't see who came before, Rooney and Calvert-Lewin. So all change up front there, and I am a little bit surprised that one of Sigurdsson or Vlasic as well didn't come off, because, you know, Calvert-Lewin's done all right in this game today, and Rooney's got the goal. You know what he can do, so maybe just taking off one of those midfielders could have been an option, but it's all changed now for them up front.
Yeah, it sure is, and so... Everton just need to hold them at bay right now, don't they? Don't need to do too much, and well, the game really will look after itself for them. Is just a free kick here now. Kenny having a moan, Sanchez holding him at bay, and referee having a word with Kolasinac, and Everton need to hit back almost immediately if they're to do anything in this game. Yeah, they got the first goal, and from that moment, I just thought whether you were lucky to do that, maybe they could have built on it, needed a bit of luck, but they've really not troubled Petr Cech. Got a free kick here, and so maybe chance to do something or another, but somehow this needs to go in. Sigurdsson is on the right-hand side, and will launch a ball in. Needs to get it right. Keane's in there. Jagielka at the edge of the area. Up goes the hand, there's the delivery, and I think the ball came off an Arsenal head there, and so it might just be an Everton throw, although I don't know what decision is being given. Still Everton 1, Arsenal 3 then, and like we said, another change being made. Jack Wilshere's about to come on. He was just some absolute little bits of genius in midweek. Outstanding stuff from him, and on for Lacazette.
Yeah, it's the perfect substitution, really. We were just talking about Lacazette, but he's got his goal now. He'll have that extra bit of confidence, and he can be taken off. And it's the perfect scenario for Wilshere to come on. Against a side with 10 men, he'll get a lot of space on the ball. He probably won't get kicked, because there's not many of those kind of players in the Everton side now. And the 3-1 up, and he can just do his thing. It's a good substitution for them, and we hope, for England's point of view, he can get back to his best.
Yeah, here come Arsenal again, that Pickford comes out, does pretty well. A great deal of pressure on him. And so, the Everton players have got to regroup and find something out somewhere. But they're 2 goals adrift just to get a point. And it looks, very tall order for them. They've got to really... balance their team differently now, but Wilshere's on the ball. It wasn't a great ball forward, actually. First touch, then just a little bit heavy, and Alexis Sanchez already tearing off Wilshere's strip there, saying, "Look, this is where the ball should have been." That's understandable enough there, really. As Everton pick it up now, and I've got to play out from the back with Tom Davies, who has his pocket picked, but he was adjudged to have been fouled. And Ramsey's staying, really. Lookman, it is. Niasa is on as well. They made all 3 changes. Davies came on for Williams at half-time as they changed shape from a back 3. Just get the feeling, Coleman just scratching around Tom Davies with a shot from range. It bounces into the midriff, but Czech is more than comfortable and takes a good hold of that. So now Wilshere on the ball. Take a look at his goal in midweek. It was, well, his assist in midweek. Ball over the top then, and again Aaron Ramsey's proving a nuisance. Contested ball, Wilshere wins it, ball breaks out to the right hand side for Alexis Sanchez. Into the box he goes, he cuts, ball might break here for Ozil, but he doesn't, and eventually pocket pick. Well done, Tom. Again, inside the box there they are with Ramsey this time, shaping to shoot. The ball eventually flicked away, but there's nobody on the end of that one, and yeah, it's just about being dealt with. So, Everton 1, Arsenal 3, 10 minutes to go, but they are staring down the barrels really, and it's hard to see Everton getting back into the game. Koeman looks on. The fans look worried, don't they? Really, they haven't left just yet, but you get the feeling that they'll not be happy.
No, they certainly won't be. I mean, I know Arsenal are a good side, but in some ways they're there for the taking, because if you get at the defence, they've got a tendency sometimes that they can just crumble, and you know it's difficult times ahead for the Toffees. Personally, I think Ronald Koeman could be on borrowed time after this game. 9 games into the season now, and it's just been so poor for them.
Yeah, nice turn in the middle of the park by Nias, and he's able to spin and lose his marker. Ball dragged forward then, and well, nice wee turn again, but just in the end it's not enough, and the ball gets away, breaks to Sanchez, but Pickford shapes to come, and then he retreats back into his area so he can pick up the ball. He does pretty well. Tom Davies now on the half turn inside his own half, and he toe ends the ball out. Oh dearie me. Yeah, you want the ground to open up sometimes, don't you, and swallow you up. Not his finest moment at all, but well, the game is nearly won. We'll have a bit of a recap now and tell you what's been going on.
Still Everton 1, Arsenal 3, and the Gunners are really toying with the home side now. It's far too easy for them. Jack Wilshere's made his Premier League comeback. He's come onto the pitch for Alexander Lacazette, who got his goal, and he's been withdrawn for Jack Wilshere. Tom Davies has had a shot from distance which went comfortably into the path of Petr Cech, and then a minute later Aaron Ramsey had an effort which went just wide of the post. It's still very easy for Arsenal, and they still look like they've got goals in them. Still 3-1.
Yeah, they do, although that change Ozil off and Coquelin on tells you a little bit about where Arsene Wenger is with it. They still have got one body extra as Baines can't cut out the pass. Now a chance into the box, and the ball is headed just wide by Alexis Sanchez. Stooping header from him, and very difficult to control, but it would be a goal kick for Everton.
Yeah, it was a good effort from Alexis Sanchez again down this right hand side where they've caused a lot of problems today. Bellerin with a really good ball into the box, and you'd imagine if someone like Olivier Giroud was on that, he'd have guided it into the back of the net. Again, like we mentioned with Ozil, heading not the strong point for Sanchez, and it just hit the side netting.
Yeah, just as Pickford then launched it long and over the halfway line. There's a half turn by Wilshere, a good one. He gets the ball back. His ball into midfield is intelligent. Finds Ramsey. And here they come, barnstorming forward. Into the box they go. Good first touch by Alexis Sanchez. Held up by Baines down that left-hand side. Baines is able just to get a foot in there. Ball keeps coming back. And then it's a good touch by Xhaka. He looks like he's going to shoot. He does shoot. And that pings off the woodwork. Goalkeeper can't quite get there. He's in no man's land and tangling with Ramsey, and the ball had just to have gone out for a goal kick, but that was a fierce strike. Again, that really would have sealed the deal. 2 goals down, but
in those situations, what Granit Xhaka always wants to do. I think he'd admit himself that he doesn't have the craft in that position to find a man, but what he can do is he can thump a ball from distance, and it was a great effort that just smacked off the crossbar, looped up in the air, and I think, who was it nearly got on the end of it there? It might have been Ramsey making a late run into the box. Pickford had to be smart to it.
Well, do you know what, that shot, again, there's a lot of shots that go in right over the top of Pickford's head, and again, that was one that beat him at all ends up. But anyway, the Gunners come forward again. It's a long ball to Alexis Sanchez just at the edge of the area. He cuts. He's looking for extra talent. Ball out now with Wilshere. Pickford came out to greet him. The ball back in. He's just leaves a lot to be desired. And in the end, that one has just been dabbed away. Every time they go forward, they look like they're going to score. And maybe making a hash of grabbing the 4th goal. Not that they really need it.
No, they don't. I think Alexis Sanchez probably could have gone there on his own, to be honest. When the ball came through to him, it looked like he might have been offside, but the flag didn't go up. And I think he could have just ran that with a bit more intensity into the box. Whether or not it's just tired legs or not, he's only just come back from injury recently. So, it could be down to that. But I think he could have gone himself and maybe got on the act himself and got a goal.
Anyway, Arsenal come forward again, and they're full of it now in their pomp against the 10 men of Everton, who, have fought today, but they look as out of balance as we thought they were right at the beginning of the proceedings. Got the first goal, block away at the edge of their own area. That's brought down, and that's Koscielny carded, I think. And I think Craig Pawson, right decision there.
Yeah, it's just one of those easy take for the team ones at this stage of the game. They know that they've pretty much got the game sealed there. As I think we see Francis Coquelin come onto the pitch. As I just
he did. He came on for Mesut Ozil, which told you all you needed to know about how Arsene Wenger, how happy he was with the match situation, don't you know? But there, Koscielny still left by himself as Nias was looking to burst past him and felt that he had to bring him down. Long ball drilled forward now by Pickford from the free kick, headed up in the air by Monreal. Wilshere takes it, controls it, gets rid of the players around him, but he can't find a colleague, and the ball might just break for Everton, but it's a contested ball. I think Kenny's done all right. I mean, they've dropped Mason Holgate, who for me is a centre-back anyway, playing in the wrong slot. I don't mind Cucho Martina either, but he looks a better bet going forward than defensively. I think if you're looking for the future, then, Yeah,
I think he's done all right. I think Arsenal have attacked more down Everton's left than they have the right, which, could say something for Kenny's performance. I think he's been steady enough. I don't think he's been outstanding, but he's not one that you'd look at from Everton's point of view and think you were at fault for some of the goals. So it's encouraging, at least, that they've got another youngster coming through who could potentially be a first-team regular within the next few months or years.
Yeah, when you think about what's different from last year, I mean, obviously Seamus is somebody that, because he's still at the club, you think, oh yeah, but he hasn't played, so Lukaku, Seamus, Coleman, probably, the two best players, arguably, or players that would break into a lot of higher ranking teams in the division, not to mention Ross Barkley. Anyway, Kolasinac is on the ball. He flicks it on the inside now with Granit Xhaka. Hit the woodwork not so long back. Coquelin, ball out to the right hand side. A chance. Alexis Sanchez been buzzing around the pitch for the entirety of the 90 minutes and would be my idea of man of the match.
Yeah, I think he's been outstanding today. He's not got a goal, but his overall play just oozes class and just the intelligence, the intensity of it all. Everton haven't been able to cope with him, and he's a real welcome addition back to the Arsenal side.
So Everton having to defend at the edge of their area, but they give the ball away again. A chance here with Arsenal just at the edge of the area. And in the end, a brilliant ball out. The header leaves a bit to be desired in the end from Kolasinac, who'd come deep. But, Sanchez is marked. There's three bodies around who in the box close to him, and he still digs out across. he's a smashing player.
He can draw players out so that when he does find the ball in, there will inevitably be some space. I mean, the header from Kolasinac wasn't a good one, but again, a player better suited to that situation like Giroud would have gobbled that chance up.
So Arsenal come again down the right hand side, and another opportunity for them to do what they do. They could still grab another goal. It would depend on added time, but if there's 4 or 5 minutes, then you think well within their range to grab another against the 10 men who look out on their feet right now. Anyway, it is all Arsenal as you might expect. They're 3 goals to 1 up. They've got an extra man. Jisage was sent off, and I thought it was a harsh decision. I don't know what he's got against Ronald Koeman, but he might have cost him a job. Anyway, they were still under the pump at that point, but they looked like they were going to score the next as the ball breaks into the box for Ramsey, drills it into the back of the net, and there we go. And it's been sealed, the deal. So, Everton 1, Arsenal 4, that was coming.
Yeah, great goal, and it's Wilshere again who's made an impact coming on. He was on the half turn in midfield, played the ball into Aaron Ramsey, who came in from the left and just slotted it into the back of the net. The game has been sealed at Goodison Park. Arsenal have found a 4th goal. Aaron Ramsey is the man who's got in on the act. They had so much time and space to play it round in midfield. Coquelin played a ball through to Wilshere, who was on the half turn, and he played in Aaron Ramsey, who was on the left edge of the box, and he slotted it past Jordan Pickford. Everton fans leaving the stadium in their droves. It's Everton 1, Arsenal 4.
Yeah, lovely ball by Wilshere into the path of Ramsey. Very nicely taken. 5 minutes now, and they could break out, couldn't they? Everton 1, Arsenal 4, and there may be goals more to come. And so, it's been a walk in the park, in Stanley Park for Arsenal and for Everton. It's difficult to know where to start. The attitude was right. They didn't stand off on ceremony today. They were up for the game. You can't fault the attitude. I didn't think, I think, probably a back three was very hopeful. If you'd have watched Ashley Williams like I have over the last season or so, he wouldn't be anywhere near the first team for me. And so I probably would have gone a back four and started Mirallas, and they probably still would have been beat. So it's difficult, isn't it? There's just no balance to this Everton side at the moment. It looks like, they've in that starting lineup today, they had 3 players that are number 10s. They've got some out-of-form central defenders. There's no real proper centre forward. It's just a bit of a mess at the moment for Everton. I think the recruitment side in the summer has been really poor for Ronald Koeman. See a free kick from Everton, and that is blazed over the top, and Sigurdsson not getting it right. He's not a good fit for all teams. Again, like Rooney, you need to surround him with legs because he's not the quickest. He's not an archetype winger, but you put him out there because you need to do. He's not going to put himself around the middle of the pitch. You could play him second striker, but you need a really strong team to do that. They couldn't manage to keep him at Spurs because he was a luxury that they couldn't afford. At Swansea, a shortage of good players meant that he would always start, but they put a lot of work in behind him to compensate for him. And I think this almost the same for Wayne Rooney. You can't play him as striker anymore. He doesn't hold up the ball. He's not one of those. But I think there's a room for him in the middle of the park somewhere. But there needs to be bodies around him.
You can't play Sigurdsson and Rooney in the same team. I think it almost reminds me a bit of the Gerrard Lampard conundrum for England. You either play one or the other. I just don't think there's room in this Everton side to play the pair of them. They're far too similar. Neither of them are pretty dynamic in terms of movement. They've got very good ability on the ball. That's not in any sort of question. But when they're overrun in midfield like they have been today, they're just passengers. Oh, and they've nicked a goal there as Umar Niasse puts it into the back of the net. Well, that's comical for Arsenal. And again, shows the problems that they've got.
Well, typical. I mean, again, Monreal backed his keeper, sold him short, pocket picked, and that nearly happened earlier in the game. So, a little bit of consolation for Everton. Everton 2, Arsenal 4.
There's a consolation for Everton. They've made it 4-2 through Oumar Niasse. It was an absolute comedy of errors for Arsenal. Nacho Monreal turned, played the ball back to Petr Cech, who just dallied on it. Oumar Niasse picked his pocket and rolled it into the back of the net. They're going to lose this game, but Niasse has got his goal. 4-2. Arsenal 5.
He is absolutely magic. They made him as Ozil man of the match, but for me, Alexis Sanchez, all day and every day, just end product with him abounds. And no wonder Arsenal didn't want